What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Nerdy Dating. We're gonna hop into today's episode, which is a reaction to the You Up podcast with Jared Fried and Georgiana Abraham. And one of their latest episodes, they asked the question, is exclusive and relationship the same thing? And it's exclusive versus dating or exclusive versus relationship is the topic. Well, I'm going to react to their video because this comes with a situation or customers, but guests write in, and I'm going to react to their write in and their reaction to it and kind of answer that question that they ask on this show. So we're about to go ahead and get that started right now.
All right. UUP@betches.com. Hey there. Love your podcast. It's funny, real, always entertaining. This person's like a good,
they're like hype man.
Yeah, I love it. I could use some advice. I'm a 28-year-old guy who met a woman, 29, on Bumble.
Older lady.
Ooh, grandma. Want to take down the calf. From our first date, the chemistry was great. She's Muslim, though not practicing, and I don't really follow any religion myself, but I do believe in God.
Good to know.
Thanks for telling us. We haven't been fully intimate yet, though we make out on every date. She also never lets me drop her off at her place. On our sixth date, she brought up that after about 3 months of dating, there should be exclusivity. By October 9th, it'll be 2 months since we met. Here's where I'm conflicted. She seems to hold the leverage with physical intimacy, while I hold the leverage of commitment. But I can't commit to someone I haven't fully been intimate with, especially when I'm not even allowed to walk her home. I feel I really like her, but I'm a man. And part of me is starting to think about meeting other women again. I stopped doing that after our third date because I wanted to give this a real shot. But honestly, I don't have the energy to go on dates with women who just want a free meal either. Uh-oh. He was doing so well.
I know.
He was writing
this.
But
I'm a man. That was like nice.
It was a real hint that something else was coming.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about this last episode, but this show is made so that I can hold this guy's hand to show him.
Is that why it's made?
I'm going to skip a little further. Let me finish.
I thought it's so that we
have fun with dating.
And also like help the women understand why these monsters exist.
Right. Her openly about all this. How do I bring it up without like the energy?
Right, like where is he getting that?
Where do you get that one from?
No, I don't know.
That's where it's kind of weird.
Okay.
So my question is, should I talk to her openly about all this? How do I bring it up without sounding like I'm pressuring her? And should I even consider committing in this situation? Also, I'm planning our 7th date. Any creative ideas would be appreciated.
This is so male.
Very male. It's also like, I'm wondering if he came from YouTube. Like, I always wonder, like, where did the audience come from? Yeah.
Or not.
It's just an internet
saying
thing.
that out loud does not sound great.
Not going to help your situation.
Right.
What do you think?
I think
he does bring up actually, like in the most honest. Sorry to interrupt, but in the most honest way, he kind of brings up what the real crux of male-female dating, which is like the leverage. I mean, the way he puts it is very American Psycho, but the leverage of or the idea that like I need to be intimate to know if I want to be exclusive, and you need.
Can I ask why he needs that? Is it because he thinks the sex will be bad?
Well,
he wants to see what she looks like naked. Like, what is like? Why do you need to have sex to know if you want to date someone?
I don't think you need to have sex to know to date someone. I do think the walking her home halfway and having a kiss isn't enough. You know, the way he explains it, because he's never allowed to drop her off at home.
Because he doesn't know, like, her family or where she lives?
No, just how intimate could you be with someone if you're, like, having 6 dates that you're just like, good night. Like, I don't know. You're not, like, sitting on a couch watching a movie. You're not, like, intimate.
Go to the movies?
I'm just saying intimate in the physical sense doesn't have to be sex.
Right.
I think this specific scenario is different than.
She's saying exclusivity. She's not even saying you need to be my boyfriend.
To me, they're one and the same.
I don't think they are, because she's like, and I think that this is a totally fine standard to have of like, sex is important to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be having sex with someone who's having sex with other people. We're getting to know each other. And like, if you decide you want to only get to know me and not and agree to not sleep with anyone else, then I will open up that part of my life to you because it means a lot to me and it makes me feel more attached. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but he's already doing that.
Right.
He said after day 3, I've been concentrating on this, and it still doesn't feel intimate enough for me to feel like I can be in a committed thing with her.
Okay.
So I agree with her saying. There's no like, I don't think she's wrong. I mean, like, my answer to this is going to be...
She's doing what works for her.
Right. My answer to this is going to be, this doesn't feel like the match.
I would agree.
Because you are not... You do, and I think what he's doing math on something that's a little bit more magic than it is science. He's doing the math logical route, which is very male, I feel
feels
that.
a little transactional.
Right. And he's not
Or
really,
leverage, my leverage, the free dates. Like, he seems like he's thinking about this in a very, like, what am I putting in and what am I getting out?
Right, the free meal thing,
Yeah.
you're right. But if you do need, and I think what he needs to hear is you need a little delusional to jump into a relationship. Mm-hmm. It's not all math. It's not all transactions. It's not all debits and credits. So he needs to let his brain go to this, I'm excited. They're the best person I've ever met. I love them as a friend and a partner.
Yeah.
To lose the, well, I've spent $400 on 6 dates.
Right. I don't have to cut my losses.
Right. Right. And I don't think, and I think for him, I don't think he'll think that way when it's someone he's really excited about. I think right now he's trying to like
hedge like how much more he should invest in this thing.
Right. He's treating it like a business call.
Which fine. I think like when you have those kinds of rules for yourself of I'm not sleeping with someone until I'm exclusive with them, that is to get rid of people who don't like you that much.
Right.
Like he might, again, she's protecting herself from a very likely scenario.
Right.
Of they sleep together. He's like, yeah, I feel the same way I kind of felt before, which is like having fun, but I don't necessarily want to date you. And so I'm going to leave. And then she's kind of like, well, I'm now more attached to you.
Right. And he's not really seeing that. Like when he's like free meal, like, no, she's not trying to get free meals out of you.
She's trying to
figure
be
out
in a
if
relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
She's trying to figure out if she can trust you. She's trying to figure out if she can let you more into her life and deal with the embarrassment of being a woman who a guy leaves her.
Right.
You know,
food
like,
isn't that expensive. No one wants to. I don't think all these men understand that like no one wants like a free cheeseburger so badly that they're willing to spend 2 hours with someone they don't like. Right. You'd have to be like really fucking desperate.
Well,
for food.
Right. And they can, unless you're flying
I'm gonna
them
stop
in
it there because, well, hold on. Let me let Jared finish his
private jet.
Yeah, I mean, then I'd go on an extra date with
right.
someone.
So like what you're bringing to the table is not something they can do on their own. Like
they're being so used. Most women want to work towards a relationship. That's why they're going out with you. It's not for food.
It's easier for this guy and for these types of men or the ones who speak on the internet to say they're just looking for free meals than it is to say they're trying to protect themselves because they want a loving relationship and maybe I'm just looking to have a quick fuck and leave.
Right.
So that's the rub. You know, the rub isn't she needs to get to know me before say, you know, the rub is she's making sure and honestly, a lot of men need that.
Yeah.
They need the whoa, and you gotta go, okay, now I know this is something you want more.
Right.
I need to like take a minute myself. I need to realize that like, listen, I've had to do this where I go, this is something more to them than it is to me. And I need to respect that and make my decision for the next step based on that.
And that's, I'm saying, a good thing either way.
Right.
All right, we're going to stop it there because they dived in. There's a few bits that I'm going to get to them as well as that person's email. And if y'all want to go watch the rest of that episode, I'll put the link in the bio of this episode so you guys can go watch it. But let's go ahead and knock into some few points here. The first thing, exclusive and boyfriend-girlfriend relationship are not the same thing. And you can fall into a trap of believing it is. If you tell a guy that like, hey, I want to be exclusive with you, which pretty much means for him and for you that you guys don't get to talk to other people, or you guys can talk to other people, but you guys can't hook up with other people, so he can continue to date other people, not be 100% committed to you, and he's exclusive to you. Yes, he's not sleeping with anybody else, but he's not fully committed to you. You want somebody to be fully committed to you, which I just go ahead and instead of being exclusive, just be boyfriend, girlfriend. Call it a relationship. Don't sit here and try to be, well, I don't want to be in a relationship. I don't want to scare him away. So I think we should be exclusive first after 3 months of talking. And by us being exclusive means you don't get to talk, you don't get to hook up with anybody else, but we get to hook up. And you get to date other people. You get to go out and talk to other people. You get to go out and have conversations with other people and continue swiping on the apps. But as long as you come back to me at the end of the day, we're good. No, if you want to be polyamorous, just be polyamorous. But call it a relationship. Don't be saying exclusive, because then you letting him go off and talk to other people and letting, and I didn't say letting him, because he's allowed to do what he wants. He's allowed to commit to you if he would or not. But you pretty much just giving him the free ball to go out and say like, all right, well, I guess I'll go ahead and look around out there still. Like, she wants to be exclusive, but don't want to be a committed relationship. I'll go look around and see what else is out there. So he's getting best of both worlds. He's getting a girlfriend without the title and get to look out and shop around and date around and have fun and shop around. So it's a very horrible thing. But in the most least meanest way, or lack of a better term, but that's what he's doing. He's keeping his options open while talking to you and having you on the side. So therefore, you're kind of like a casual situationship because you want to be exclusive versus saying, let's be boyfriend, girlfriend. And that's what this guy should have been like. In this situation, she should have said, hey, I don't want to be exclusive. I want to be boyfriend, girlfriend. And he's like, oh, well, I need to hook up first. And if he wants to hook up first before he gets into a relationship, that's fine. That's his prerogative. However, it's her prerogative to also be like, I don't want to hook up before I'm in a committed relationship. I'll be committed first, and then we can hook up and have fun or be more intimate. Because he's in there kissing. And Jared trying to say, well, intimate doesn't always have to be sex. Fair enough, but when most people say intimate, they're thinking sex, cuddling, which also could lead to sex, a bunch of other stuff there, or heck, first base, second base, and you have to get to third base or home run. So that's what he wants to be. He wants to get to the next level versus just kissing on the side of the road or kissing in the parking lot. He wants to be in the bed with her, watch a movie and Netflix and chill, or be on the couch and Netflix and chill, which could lead to other avenues for him. And I don't like the thing where he talking about leverage. That is a very horrible way to look at dating. That's looking at dating as transaction, and dating is not a transaction. Unless you're out there looking for somebody, a casual relationship, a situationship, then you should tell the girl, I'm looking for a casual relationship. This is what I want out of this. I want to hook up. I don't want to date. I want to date with no strings attached kind of thing. Fine. Be upfront and honest with that. And you might find a girl who's just like, you know what? I'm about, F it too. I'm down to hook up and have fun. I'm not looking for anything serious. Let's do this. There you go. You're having your cake and eat it too. But most people, and the reason why he's not opening up on his dating apps or where he's meeting these women at, and not being upfront and honest, saying he wants to have a casual relationship because he knows most women do not want a casual relationship. Now he's saying these women out here trying to get free dates and free meals. I would agree with Georgina on that one. It's a certain type of person, not just women, men or women who will be willing to use somebody on a date to get free meals or get free stuff out of. And you're dating somebody who's looking to get that out of you, then do not date that person. They're only using you for your money, using you for your time. They don't really care about you. So do not date somebody who's purely trying to get free meals and free stuff from you. But most people are looking for partners. Most people are looking for a serious relationship. They're not looking to just ride somebody's coattails for a meal. So now, I will agree with that with Georgina. Most people out there are not using dates to get free meals. But also, she's like, who will sit down for 2 hours for a hamburger? Most people who sit down on fancy dates, they're not just eating hamburgers. They're going on restaurants, getting, fancy restaurants, getting drinks, getting desserts, getting other things besides just a hamburger. Like, I'm pretty sure the person went to a steakhouse or went to a place with a seafood restaurant. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty penny, and I'm pretty sure somebody appreciative that person dropped that money on them. But also sitting 2 hours on a first date at a dinner, that is a lot, especially in this day and age when you don't really know the person, but they invest 3 hours with this person forcefully, because you could just get up and leave. Not say forcefully, because you could get up and leave, but the meal is going to go to a fancy restaurant, probably what? 30 minutes, 40 minutes to an hour to just get your food. When you go somewhere nice on a Friday night or Saturday night with reservations, you're not just getting your food right there on the spot. It's going to take a little bit to get your food. So you're spending at least a minimum of hour and a half. So think about that. Versus the coffee date where you might just meet somebody for 30 minutes, get to know them, and then like, you know what? All right, this is fine. I'm going off on my business. So bring it back to that. People just don't want to sit there for a whole meal for that long amount of time. But people will do that. Like, it's not just a cheeseburger. So that sounds really condescending when she said just a cheeseburger. That's not really a cheeseburger. And Jared's like, well, about no, he flies you out. She's like, well, I'll do that then. I'll go on another date. But back to this guy. Back to this guy and his situation. Looking at dates as transactions is not the way to do it. I agree with Jared. You need to be more just like, okay, I'm going on a date to get to know this person, not to see I can hook up with this person. If you're looking at men, talking to you guys at this point, if you're looking at women as objects and looking at dates as a way to hook up, take a seat back or go and figure out, hey, I don't want a serious relationship. I want casual, and be upfront with that. Most people will be more accepting and more appreciative of the fact that you be honest about that and not lead them down the pathway. The reason why this girl in this situation is like, I want to wait until we're exclusive to hook up or be intimate is because she doesn't want to get burned. I do agree with them on that. She doesn't want to get burned. She don't want to go through the rigmarole of, he really likes me. I waited 3 months and then he pretty much hooked up with me and left. And he doesn't want to be a jerk in the sense where he's like, I'll be her boyfriend and then or be exclusive with her and then hook up with her and be like out, because that's what he's probably want. If he didn't care, if he wanted to talk to her more than just intimacy, he wouldn't care about the 3 month thing. He wouldn't care about the exclusive thing. He'd be like, all right, that's your prerogative, that's your standard on dating. Okay, I'm here with that. I'm going to get to know you. And then he can make the choice saying, after 2 dates or 3 dates, which right now he's about to go on the 7th date, but he is making the choice like, do I want to be dating this girl still? And that is the time for you to figure it out. I don't think you should rush into sex. You shouldn't. Do it when you're ready. But also don't let that blind you. Now, your prerogative is, I need to hook up with somebody before I want to commit to them. Fine. But understand that you don't have to hook up with everybody you date. You can just go on a date with somebody and say, like, that wasn't a good vibe. I didn't really like it. I'm not going to hook up with them. But sitting around with somebody after you might be checked out the second or third date, just to hook up is not the way to go. So I want to talk to him about that. Don't treat dates as transactions. Don't talk about leverage, because it's not about leverage. Nobody cares about leverage. And you're looking at dating in a way of leverage and money and transactions, and you shouldn't be dating, because that's not what dating is for. Or you're just looking to be casual, be upfront and honest with that and say, hey, I'm looking to have sex and have a fun partner to be with, to hang out with and not be committed to. That's fine too. But be upfront and honest with that and don't lead somebody astray by saying like, oh, I'll be your boyfriend or I'll be intimate with you just to hook up with them and leave them after you have sex with them or 2 months after you have sex with them. And then another thing I wrote down here, that why do you need to know? I did not write that right, but pretty much it's like, why do you need to have sex to know you want to be in a relationship with them? And the answer to Georgetta question on that is that some people, before they commit, they want to make sure they have a good sex life. There's sexual intimacy, physical intimacy, and emotional intimacy. if physical, emotional there, but sex is bad, and that right there can check somebody out. Or sexual compatibility. If you're trying to hook up with somebody, they don't want to do the same things you want to do. They don't want to do a certain position you don't want to do. Or they don't like a certain thing that you want to do. That can lead to some things. And eventually, what will happen is a person will have to be okay, have to make a decision. I'm okay with this fact that, the person doesn't want to do congolegas or don't want to let me go down on them. Okay. Well, or, does that outweigh everything else? I'm fine with that. That's a conversation you have to have with yourself. And you're like, you know what? I really need to do this thing to get off. Then that person might not be the best compatible sexual partner with you. Or their sex drive might not be the same with you. And versus committing to somebody for the long haul, when you don't have a good sex drive compatibility, then, it might be time to say, hey, I'm going to go look for somebody else. Or make the decision that I'm okay with that thing not being there. I can make everything else work. So that's a reason why a lot of people want to have sex before they become fit or become not physical, but before they come into a committed relationship. Lost my train of thought there, guys. My bad. Because they want to know if their sex drive and sexual compatibility is there. Because that is a piece. Regardless of what people want to tell you, it just depends on how people deal with it. Some people like to say, you know what, I can tolerate not having, sex 3 times a week or once a week or once every 2 months. And there's other people like, no, I actually need that intimacy. I need that sexual chemistry, at least twice a week or twice a month. So it really depends on that person. But that's why it's important for some people to have sex before they commit it, because they want to know how their sexual chemistry, sexual compatibility is. All right. One more thing before I head out. I definitely want to go over a Reddit read that we haven't done in a while. I know first time of the new season 4 here. And by the way, before I continue on, please like, share, subscribe. And tell your friends and family about the show. They have dating questions. Please tell them, hey, Zakka has a dating show called Nerdy Dating. And send them my way. And please share with your friends and family. All right. Coffee and walk dates. This is from user Misto to Life. Talks about the You Up podcast. Coffee and walk dates specifically. Jared keeps mentioning he likes to go on coffee and walk dates. Sounds like a first date usually. I am so confused by this because I can't see how a coffee or walk date on a first date, especially with a random person from an app, can be romantic at all, or even cute or fun. Sounds like a recipe for a bad date with no connection. This is what they're saying. What's everyone's opinion on a coffee or walk date? And I know he is not drinking or drinking less, but still has to be something more romantic or cute than these options. This is what Jared at the time wasn't drinking on the show, or he not drinking on the show, but it wasn't drinking in general or cutting back from drinking. And this person just seemed to be at loss on how can a coffee date be a good first date. And then she continued to say, or not she, or they continue to say, also his story about the girl who couldn't get her schedule with his was bizarre. Why does he even bother? Even he never changes his schedule for anyone. Look, he's bothering because he wants to get to know this person. It's not about changing schedule. He's going on the road. He's a performer. He has dates booked out in advance. I listened to Jared Free for years, so that's why I know this. But he has dates booked out in advance. He's trying to set up a date with somebody and trying to figure it out, and their schedule kept clashing because I think she was a teacher or something along those lines, so it just didn't work out. Anyway, edit. That's what they had to put in. I should say the particular way Jared talks about coffee or walk dates seems very bland. Like, it doesn't even seem like he cares about making the date interesting. Personally, I don't think it qualifies as a real date. All right, so you give your personal opinion and why you're so bothered about that. But let me tell you something. Coffee dates can be a good first date. As I mentioned earlier, taking 30 minutes, 40 minutes, getting dressed up a little bit, going to get a cup of coffee and meeting at a nice coffee spot that's not just like your average Starbucks, but let's say a local coffee shop that has a little decorum to it, or a little spice of local, local bits of local stuff going on. maybe has a nice little greenery. We can sit outside on a patio and chill and sip your coffee and get to know somebody. That's a good first date idea, especially if both people who are on this date likes coffee. Now, if you're not a coffee fan, you probably shouldn't go on a coffee date. But you like coffee, you can at least go get a cup of coffee, sit down, get to know somebody, have a good talk back and forth with them, see if you guys even match or compatible, and then move from there. And then the date's going well, you can pick up and go to another spot. Like, you're like, all right, cool. This coffee date's going really well. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to another spot. Let's go walk to, get some ice cream or whatever case may be. Generally, coffee spots are located in an area around other things. You can go up and do something, so you're not just sitting there for the majority of the time. I won't say vast majority of the time, but majority of the time. But coffee date is a good way to get to meet somebody to see if you guys even match or compatible. And you get to see like, okay, we might work well, we might not work well. Also, if you're having this date in person, but you're on a dating app, maybe you guys had a discussion. If the person's like, well, I don't like coffee, then the guy or girl who's suggesting the coffee date shouldn't do a coffee date if that person's like, they don't like coffee. So ask about the coffee first. And most people like coffee, so a coffee date is not a bad idea. Go to a local coffee shop, you're good to go. So a coffee date is not a bad idea. It's a good thing. And then on top of that, if the date's going well, you can move to somewhere else. I remember I had a date, never forget this, it was a coffee date. And I thought the date was fine. But the girl was like, she was telling me she always have a backup plan for your date. And I was like, I don't get it. She's like, my backup plan, I'm going to go study with some friends and we're supposed to meet at 3. Cool beans. I think the date was like at 2 or 1:30. So 3 o'clock hit and she off and left. I was like, all right, cool. Let's do your thing. I had a date one time and it was a coffee date. I thought the date was going well. And I was like, hey, the date's going well. Chiefs about to play at 3:30. Do you want to go watch the Chiefs game with me? Because that's what my goal was. Like after the date, I was going to go watch the Chiefs game. And invite her if she wants to go watch the Chiefs game. She said no. That's fine. But coffee dates, get to know somebody, get to see how the date is going or how you guys are vibing a little bit. If you guys are good back and forth and you want to continue the date, you can. If you guys not really good back and forth and you don't really want to continue the date, you don't have to. You can just say, no, nice meeting you and keep it going. You're not taking so much time out of your day to meet somebody on the first date. And that's not your idea of romanticism. Okay, so be it. But not every first date is going to be this grandiose thing, especially when everybody's dating so many people nowadays, to take time out their day for this big grandiose thing when they got other things going on in life. It's just not as feasible now. Some people will do it. Some people will make the first day a big whole deal and stress out and everything. And then people are like, no, let me just see if I get to like this person's, in lack of a better term, vibe, but like this person's aura and all the other terms that today's using. But let's see if I like this person, see if you have a good match or a good compatibility. So a coffee date is not a bad thing, and you can make it romantic. You can get dressed up and you can go for a walk in a nice little park or a nice little area, shopping center. If the coffee shop is at a shopping center, you can go window shopping with this person and just to see how you guys bounce off of each other. So I think it's a good first date. And a lot of people in the comment section of this Reddit thread said the same thing. A lot of people said, hey, that I met my wife, I met my husband on a coffee date. It was great. We love coffee dates. So a lot of people are like the idea of a coffee date, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, I think some people who really do get upset at that are people who watch and listen to TikToks and YouTube videos about coffee dates, and they get really upset because somebody on a coffee date talking about, everybody doing coffee dates, you shouldn't do coffee date. I would not go on a coffee date with somebody. It's low energy, it's low effort. I'm sorry. There's so much going on in life nowadays. Everybody's working, everybody got jobs, everybody trying to pay bills. It's okay to have a few 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour to go meet somebody and then get back to life and be a break and reprieve and just see, hey, did this person match with me well enough where we might be able to make something go from here? It doesn't have to be a big hoopla and like, oh, they're going on a date. Get the horses, play the trombones and trumpets. Like, it doesn't have to be that big of a deal. It's okay to have a first coffee date, and you can make it romantic. It doesn't have to be bland. You can make it spice up by going to pick a high-end coffee shop if you really want to go that far. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Nerdy Dating. Thank y'all so much for watching this episode. I appreciate y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you guys on the next episode of Nerdy Dating, and keep being awesome. Thank you for watching this episode of Nerdy Dating. I really appreciate it. If there's another episode you want to watch, you can look at it right there. If you want to subscribe to the page and watch more content, it's down here. Also, you have a question about dating you want to put in the comment section, go ahead and do it. Or you can send me your dating question to my email of alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. That's alizakkanerdydating@gmail.com. And I will answer your question on the next episode of Nerdy Dating. Thank you so much for watching the show. I appreciate you, and keep being awesome.